let's preview the regional semifinals of the NCAA volleyball tournament. Starting off with Pitt's region, we have the top-seeded Panthers taking on Oregon, and then a matchup between Kentucky and Missouri. Pitt is obviously the full package, going to be a tough team to beat at any point. Oregon was swept by them at the very beginning of the season, coming in with almost an entirely new rotation. But this is a different Oregon team now, led the country in aces last week, something they've been working on. They will need that and more to attempt to slow Pitt's offense. But watch out for Mimi Collier and Oni Ofebu. Ofebu is underrated in the middle. But of course, Olivia Babcock, one of the best players in the country for Pitt. Tori Stafford, just as good. Rachel Fairbanks is unreal. Bree Kelly in the middle. This Pitt team is amazing. Winner of that game faces the winner of Kentucky, Missouri. I love this matchup so much. Kentucky peaking at the right time after a tough non-conference. Erin Lamb is back from injury. Brooklyn DeLay has been balling out. And then they have really great passers and defenders. Missouri, a team that upset SMU, has talent at every single position. Michael Vernon can go off on the outside. Jordan Iliff, they run the middle a lot, and then a fantastic setter in libero to anchor them. Not to mention they've played twice already this season, and Kentucky got the best of them both times. So Missouri will be looking for some serious redemption and another upset. Over in the Louisville region, I love this Louisville-Purdue matchup. The Cardinals were just pushed to their limits by UNI in 5 extra points, but Louisville climbed back into that match with a lot of fire, trying to make it to the national semifinals in Louisville with Anna DeBeer and Elena Scott as homegrown Louisville kids. But this is a fun matchup. I mean, 2 ultra-competitive sets of outsides on each side of the net with Chloe Chicoine and Eva Hudson for Purdue, and then Anna DeBeer and Charity Looper, a Big Ten ACC battle. And then Stanford versus Florida. The Cardinal have what many say is the best setter in the country in Cami Minor, and she posted over 12 assists per set in the first 2 rounds as Stanford hit a nation-leading 467 last week. But it's going to be a challenge to slow down a hot Florida team with Kennedy Martin putting up video game numbers. She can take over a match, and Stanford will need answers for her. In Nebraska's region, we have Wisconsin versus Texas A&M. The Aggies coming off of a big upset over Arizona State. They hit over 300. Logan Lednicki is a baller on the right side, but Wisconsin's really disciplined block might be a pretty big challenge. I like the middle matchup with Ifena Kasakpala for the Aggies, and then the likes of Carter Booth for the Badgers. Wisconsin took down a good Georgia Tech team, have some of the most talented players in the country with Sarah Franklin in her last season. Winner of that game will face the winner of Nebraska and Dayton. The Flyers in the national semifinals for the first time in program history, led by Lexi Almodovar, an undersized outside who jumps out of the gym, had 34 kills in the upset over Baylor. But Nebraska has been just absolutely dominant. Taking down that well-oiled machine will be no easy task. They held opponents to a 10 hitting percentage in the first 2 rounds. And finally, Penn State's regional, which in my opinion is just an absolute gauntlet. I mean, Creighton versus Texas could be an incredible matchup. Texas finally reaching its potential at the right time of the season. Back in a 5-1 with Maddie Skinner in 6 rotations, and she has been lethal in her postseason form, looking for her 4th national title of her college career. And then Creighton looked impeccable through the first 2 rounds. Kendra Waite balled out 17 kills as a setter. Really balanced group. So pumped for that one. Winner will face the winner of Penn State and Marquette. The Nittany Lions led by Izzy Stark, the freshman phenom setter who has plenty of options, including Jess Merzick and a gritty defense. Marquette upset Utah in 5 to get here, and their setter, Yadira Ankanti, was like a second libero, 41 digs in the first 2 rounds. So those are our regional semifinal matchups. We have 16 teams fighting for a spot in the regional final and then the national semifinals.